Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the F.O.R.T.I.F.Y framework. It's this really powerful guide for building businesses that don't just, get by, but are built to actually thrive, no matter what's thrown at them.
So let's just kick things off with a pretty challenging question for any leader out there. Right now, the business world feels like a constant storm, doesn't it? And it's one thing to survive a storm, but what if you could actually use its energy to come out even stronger on the other side?
I mean, the challenges just feel relentless. You're dealing with these wild, unpredictable market shifts where what customers want can literally change overnight. Then you've got the absolute nightmare of supply chain chaos that can just grind your entire operation to a halt with zero warning. And on top of all that, you're trying to navigate this constant geopolitical fog that just keeps rewriting the rules of how business gets done globally. All while these new, super agile competitors are popping up from every corner. So in this perfect storm of uncertainty, how in the world do you build something that actually lasts? Better yet, something that gets stronger with every challenge. That right there is the core promise of the F.O.R.T.I.F.Y framework.
Okay, so the framework's big answer is to aim for something it calls sustainable success. And I want you to think of it not as some finish line, but more like a lighthouse. It's that steady, guiding light in the middle of a chaotic storm, showing you the way to a safe harbor.
So what does that really mean in plain English? It means having the ability to take a massive hit, a market crash, a supply chain disaster, and not just bounce back to where you were. It's about bouncing forward. You come out of it stronger, more innovative, and actually more in tune with what your customers and your community really need. And this quote just nails it. We're not talking about hitting your quarterly targets here. This is so much bigger. This is about building an organization that has a lasting, positive impact, one that outlives any single crisis, any single leader, or any temporary market trend. It's really about building a legacy.
So how do you actually build that legacy? Well, the framework says you have to start from the inside out. To get through any storm, you need a seriously resilient ship. And that all starts with a rock-solid internal foundation, right? You can't control the waves, but you sure can control the strength of your own ship.
And the framework lays out 4 crucial steps to build that foundation. It all starts with a clear vision and values. That's your compass, telling you where to go. Then you get everyone aligned so the whole crew is rowing in the same direction. Third, you build an efficient and reliable engine. That's your operational excellence. And finally, and this one is absolutely critical, you weave risk management into the very DNA of your company. These aren't just boxes to check. They all work together to create a true culture of resilience.
Now, once you have that strong foundation, that solid ship, now you can start looking outward. You can begin to proactively navigate all those external disruptions we talked about. And here's the key difference. You're no longer just getting tossed around by the waves. You are firmly at the helm, steering with purpose.
And this is where the framework's power really shines through, turning what looks like a threat into a huge opportunity. Let's take technology. A reactive company just lags behind, always playing catch-up, losing ground. But a fortified business, it sees that exact same technological shift and thinks, aha, this is our chance to leapfrog the competition. They invest in R&D, they upskill their people, and they use that tech to get ahead. It's a total mindset shift. And you see the exact same principle with environmental factors. The reactive company sees sustainability as just a cost, another regulation, another risk. But the proactive, fortified company, they turn it into a massive competitive advantage, building incredible brand loyalty and creating a more efficient, totally future-proof business. Okay, so I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but does this proactive approach actually work in the messy real world? Fantastic question. And the answer is a resounding yes. Let's look at 2 really powerful examples of companies that did exactly this.
So first up, let's talk about Ørsted. This was a big European utility company, and their whole business was built on fossil fuels. They saw the writing on the wall. Their business model was basically on a countdown to extinction. But instead of just slowly fading away, they made a massive, dramatic pivot. I mean, look at this. They made a seriously bold move. They sold off their oil and gas operations and went all in on renewables. And the result? They became a global leader in offshore wind. See, this wasn't just adapting. This was a complete transformation, driven by a clear vision of the future. They didn't just survive the disruption, they built an entirely new legacy around it. Now, let's look at a completely different challenge in a totally different industry. Think about a behemoth like Walmart. When e-commerce exploded, their entire business model was suddenly under threat.
Their biggest asset, thousands of giant physical stores, suddenly looked like their biggest weakness. So, what did they do? Did they just defend their brick-and-mortar past? No way. They went on the offensive. They poured billions into their e-commerce platforms. But here's the genius part. They turned their stores into a strategic weapon, a massive network for in-store pickup and delivery that online-only players just couldn't match. It just goes to show, it doesn't matter how big your ship is. If you have the right strategy, you can learn to navigate brand new waters.
These stories from Ørsted and Walmart are just so inspiring, right? And they really hammer home a crucial point. A brilliant strategy is one thing, but it's leadership that actually brings it to life. So this final section is all about the captain's role in steering the ship. It's about your role.
And you can think of this table as your leadership playbook. It's so clear. On the left, you've got the specific actions leaders need to take. And on the right, you see the powerful outcomes those actions create. It's a direct line from setting clear goals to having an actual integrated roadmap everyone can follow. It shows how fostering the right culture leads to genuine buy-in from the whole team. This isn't abstract theory. This is the tangible, hands-on work of building a legacy. So, as we wrap up, it all comes back to that core idea. The Fortify framework isn't just about battening down the hatches for the next storm. It's about being intentional. It's about designing an organization from the ground up that's built to thrive, not just for a few years, but for generations. And so the real question this framework leaves all of us with is, what will you build?